I'm Yaz.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jana.
So what's everyone been up to this week? Seen much? Done much?
Loads, mate.
Go on.
I don't know what to say. Just been getting me tattooed on her. All scabby, look at that. Oh, it just flaked then. Just flake that up. Yum yum.
That's a little bit of ink that you just lost because it flaked.
Oh, I'll
Save
save that
this
bit
one
for
for
later.
later.
This is Boo. Hello! I've got the memory of a goldfish. What day is it?
Wednesday.
It looks dead creepy, like a
Oh
mad
God,
stare
yeah, on
at
the
us.
left.
Yeah, like a nose and eyes and a mouth.
Oh, what the fuck? You want to take a picture of it now?
Where's
on
my...
your phone?
Oh,
on
there
your
it is.
phone?
Yeah.
What's
It's just
Somebody was
staring
after
at
that.
us.
Take a picture of that. Yeah? It's like someone's pressing the face like that.
Mum had one like
Yeah.
a baby in her fire on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Right, I'm
Another
just going to
conspiracy.
show you guys. Yaz might put it over us as well, but that's freaky. And I've always said this house is haunted. Now, tell me. Tell me.
Conspiracy number 1.
Yes. Let's have a little chat about paranormal activity.
Paranormal?
Yeah.
Okay then.
Ghost
Nana's the one for
spirits a lot.
this.
Ain't it?
What do you want to know? Do you want to know stories or what do you want to know?
Well, let's go back to the fire that we just showed everyone. What do you think that's about?
Yeah, what do you think that is?
That
then?
looks like a murderer or something. Look at that. There is literally a pupil and it looks like it's doing this. Like it's even got the bloody wrinkles.
Yeah, I know, it's weird.
So what did you...
What,
Is that why you got
chicken?
60 grand off the house? Yeah, it's so like someone murdered some money. Is that what's going on?
You never know.
Well, as I know, but
You never know, but that looks like somebody's trying to escape out of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
don't open the doors. Tell Benito, don't open the doors.
No, I mean you've already kind of done that, but
You're fucked
You're
now.
too late now.
Yeah.
yeah. Do you remember when you had the smoke in the little room?
Yeah.
What?
We had. I came upstairs once. I didn't say anything to Benito because I knew that he'd just say.
But can I just say the previous part to this story?
Yeah, go on. Start
Yeah.
from
So-
when we moved in, I guess.
So when I don't know, a few days before that, I'm not sure about whether it was about when they moved in, but basically a few days before that, I was here and we were chatting about stuff, and I was just saying, as that I believe that this house is haunted, and I feel like I'm a little bit intuitive with stuff like that. I can't really make them come out, or I can't hear them or anything like that, as in like spirits, ghosts, whatever.
Yeah.
But I definitely know that they're about. I believe that because I had my own experiences, and whether it was hallucinations or what, I don't know, but I believe it was real. And so I said I have like an intuitive feeling that there is something here. Even now, talking about it, I feel a little bit of a weird, like,
Cold.
not necessarily cold, just
Goosebumps.
like someone else is in this room. But yeah, so a few days later after that, I come in, and obviously Benito, he's very skeptical. He doesn't believe anything like that. So he was like, yeah, whatever. He kind of wasn't listening, but when he did, he was like, yeah, okay. So a few days later, I come round, and the other is like, Benito, tell Jana what happened the other day. And he was like, it was nothing. But he was a bit like freaked out about it. So she was like, no, just tell her. So you guys both started talking, and then you said that you went upstairs, and now you can continue because I don't remember the exact details.
Yeah, so I went upstairs and there was like mist, like smoke in the little bedroom, but no smell. There's no candles in there. There's nothing that can cook. There's no fire in there.
Nobody. It's a spare room.
It's a
Nobody
spare
does anything
room
there.
that, yeah, like nobody goes in there. There's no water that could be
And
evaporating
the door
in mist.
was open as well.
And the door was open, but the smoke had stayed in that room.
Mm.
But I didn't say anything because I just thought, what's the point? And then Benito also noticed it and said something about it, and I was like, yeah, it's really fucking weird. So, obviously, he's just like, yeah, whatever, nothing anyway. But He won't. He probably just wouldn't.
Yeah, it
admit
was
if he
just
scared
freaky,
anyway, would he?
and I was always talking about that room being the main one
Yeah.
because I'd had to sleep there before when I
I've
stayed
slept
there.
there.
Isn't it? Do you not get a little bit scared? Truly, like a little bit uneasy.
It's
about
just
the room?
cold. That's it.
Yeah, it
really.
is
Was
cold.
now it's
but
insulated.
And I
But it's
got
just weird.
spots on my face the next day from the pillow, but whatever.
it's probably because you just keep the pillow there and
I
yeah.
do, if
the
I know
communal
someone's
pillow.
staying, then I'll change the bedding if
Yeah.
it's planned. But
There was another weird thing that actually included you, Kieran. Do you remember that when me and Benito were both sure that he went into the kitchen, but the lights were off and you were in the toilet? But me and Benito both saw you, and I'm saying that I saw you walk into the kitchen. Do you remember? And then you came back and we were like,
because I was arguing with him
"Whoa."
saying he has not gone in there, he's gone in the toilet, and they were both like, we've just watched him go in there, he has.
And then so
And
you
I,
went
so I
to
went
shout.
in there and it was pitch black, so I was shouting you because I thought it was is
And you were a
this
bit
a prank?
scared as
Like
well.
all three of them are pranking
Yeah, I'm
me.
crawling on my floor.
Yeah, because before we had the spotlights in the kitchen,
Yeah.
we had them like old school, like in schools, like a bar, and it goes ding ding ding, and then finally
Yeah.
comes on.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that had broke, so we had no light in there, and I was like, Kieran, thinking surely he's not just hiding in the dark in here. It's pitch fucking black, it's freezing, and you weren't. So I shut that door straight away, and I was like, I told you he wasn't in there, and I
you were
opened
still
that door.
adamant that-
Yeah, they were like, he must be pranking you, like you just watched him go in. I just opened that door, shouted you. You're like, yeah. I was like, you in the bathroom? You're like, yeah. And then obviously like a minute later you walk in anyway, and I was like,
And we were
fucking
both
told
freaked
you
the fuck
weren't.
out as well, and obviously Benito's skeptical as anything.
Yeah.
We saw a man boy, like, because he's slender, like,
Man
you know what I mean? Like a Kieran, like, the same height, same hair. I didn't really clock the clothes, just clothed, walk in there.
Forward again.
It's not with me yet, but it's coming.
Carry on.
Yeah, so that was really freaky.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether anything else happened. But yeah, it's just weird little instances where you think, what on earth? And then Benito kind of just shook it off. He was like, oh, must have been tripping then. But why did both me and Benito see it?
Yeah.
And we were both adamant, weren't we? We were like,
They were literally arguing with me, and I was like, why would he be in the kitchen in pitch black?
oh, yeah.
Why would he be doing that, like,
Yeah.
in the cold as well? Like, that's not something you're going to do, is it? Like, if you were
No.
going to play a prank, you'd just hide around the corner and
Or
jump
behind
out.
the door or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not
I
gonna-
would've just- Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Oh god.
And they did get you to say his house, but I think that was before any of this even happened, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to have to have a resage.
Research, because we've already done it.
But do you know why I think it fucked up?
Oh god, they keep farting one of them.
Yeah.
It must be
Suki.
Suki because
Suki,
I haven't travelled this
go
far
to your
yet,
bed
but I
now,
might
mate.
just mouth breach.
Suki, go to your bed now. You're too relaxed, mate.
No, she'll be. I'd just leave her there because otherwise she's just gonna keep coming over and she's gonna jump on and
Yeah.
one
and
of
he'll
them
get
needs to stay
excited.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
she'll be alright.
Okay.
Yeah. Just gonna have to go mouth breathe instead.
And then you inhale
Taste
the
the-
poop particles.
Taste the shit instead of smell it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Taste the rainbow.
But yeah, so I don't think anything else has happened since that. Oh no, I was going to say why I think it fucked up on top. So, can you remember we did the staging and we had the candle
Yeah.
and I blew the candle out when we'd finished staging
Yeah.
and you were like, you're not supposed to blow that out, you're supposed to let it burn all the way down
Oh.
to nothing.
Or put it
Yeah.
out that way because
Oh.
you're blowing out the intention you've put in there. Also, with sage, you've got to be really careful. You've got to really have the right intention and not be at all skeptical that it's going to work. So that could also be a difficult thing for you, because,
Oh, because Benito's dad was in.
or even that,
Mm.
that could be, you know, with sage, you've got to be really careful. But, yeah, so, well, No, I'm not.
Wasn't
gonna do
there?
a tarot
Wasn't
like
there a thing about the sage that it's a good antibacterial or something?
yeah, it
like
cleanses
that in general?
every way.
Yeah.
It cleanses in every way. It gets rid
Yeah.
of toxins and stuff, but it cleanses any negative, any energy. It resets the space. Sorry, indigestion.
Hiccups.
Yeah, and now the bloody man. Weird.
Yeah, the man in my fireplace.
Should we let him out?
Mate, you can. It also looks like something's happened to his other eye.
Yeah. I'm never doing a Ouija board. Especially any.
Yeah, I'll never
Well,
do
what do you
board.
what do you think a Ouija board is, then, Yaz? What do you think it is?
It's giving. I see a Ouija board as a portal for spirits and things to come out and
not
interact with
necessarily
the real world.
The nice spirits.
No,
you
no,
don't
that's
know
the
what
thing.
portal you're opening.
I've got a story about a mate which was in like high school. Obviously, she could have been bullshitting, but she could have not been bullshitting.
Yeah.
And she had older cousins, and she lived with her older cousins, and they did a Ouija board. And then I think weird shit was happening with the curtains or something. Freaky shit was happening. So they all ended up, because they were young, like freaking out, running in the garden and stuff, and then they felt like it was following them. So they grabbed the glass, like threw it at the floor to smash it, because they'd heard that if you smash the glass, it'll just end it all.
Yeah.
Then the glass just bounced back off the ground. It didn't smash. Like this glass just bounced back. And I can't really remember the ins and outs, but they were freaked out to fuck. And I don't think they went into the house until the parents were back. Yeah, I just think that's very strange that the glass bounced back up. It didn't just smash.
It sounds pretty
on the outside
realistic,
floor.
to be fair, because they could have said anything like, "Oh, the glass came back together" or something really unrealistic. But
Do you
know what I mean? Like-
That's what I mean. Like, how do you make up a glass bouncing? You'd say like I dropped it and it levitated or something, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Or like,
it didn't fall,
or like it moved when I went grab it or
Yeah.
something.
or it just dropped to the ground and didn't smash. Or
Yeah.
but they didn't. They said it bounced, which is far fetched. If you're gonna make something up, and you'd make it sound a little bit more.
Yeah.
Freaky.
Mm.
Because bouncing the glass could happen, couldn't it, if you didn't throw it the right way? Yeah, do you guys want to know a few stories about what's happened to me? I hate
Yeah.
talking about it really, but
Yeah, but
I've
it's
spoken
interesting,
about
then.
it a few times, and I don't really mind sharing the bad stuff. This is
Yeah.
my experience, and this is what happened to me. So there is other experiences that happened to my family in that flat as well, but it was back when I lived in Slovakia, and my dad wasn't well at the time. He was doing a lot of drugs, and it was really bad. There was a lot of domestic violence going on, and any of you that kind of do believe in ghosts know that the more kind of bad energies within a place, the more likely there is bad things that can happen, because the ghosts and spirits kind of feed off the bad energy.
Yeah.
So my dad was in jail at the time, and I was sleeping next to my mum. I usually had a double bunk bed, and my brother was at the bottom and I was at the top. My brother was at my nana's at the time, so I was sleeping next to my mum. There was a lot of bad stuff going on at the time, ghost wise as well. So my mum, she used to get strangled and stuff. Weird. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. So I was sleeping next to my mum, and I wake up in the middle of the night because the phone went off. Turns out it was our neighbour calling because they had to go to the hospital and they wanted their daughter to stay around ours. But yeah, so I wake up, my mum's not waking up, and I'm like, right, get the phone, what's going on? Like, it's loud. So I kind of see my mum next to me, and she's smiling at me and like pulling her face, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, at first I'm like, but then I'm like,
eyes open.
yeah, I hate doing the face, but I'll do the face. You guys might find it funny
I know,
or
I laughed the
creepy,
first time you did it because it is so creepy.
but it was like this, and the eyes were like this, and it was coming closer to me. And at first, my mum used to do like whatever, but funny thing is, she didn't remember doing it after I've told her this story, which was obviously in the morning. I told her kind of in the night, but she was just like, "Go to sleep, Bianca." So I'm like, oh, what are you doing, Mum? And then I noticed my mum's head's down here, so I was like laying a little bit higher up on the pillow and my mum was a little bit lower down, and I can see her hair, and she's turned away from me, so I'm staring at this. I'm getting goosebumps all over
And
my body. I hate this. So I'm like staring at this thing, and I'm like, fuck is this? So I'm like, Mum, like, wake up. So I know this wasn't any type of fucking, do they call it, sleep paralysis or anything. This was there, and it wore a red jacket with spots, black spots on the jacket, and it had hair kind of like my dad. At first I thought it was my mum, because when you open your eyes first, you can't see very well, but then your eyes adjust to the darkness. So I'm there like, Mum, there is something here. There is something like next to you, like, and it was getting bigger and closer, and I was like, and she was like, it's okay, Yanka, just sleep. So I put my head down and I squished to my mum, and then I'm thinking, did I just imagine this? So I then turn back up, and it's still fucking staring at me. So I'm like, fuck. So I make myself go back to sleep. Okay, so I wake up in the morning, and my mum kind of asked me about it, and I explained what it looked like, everything, and then my mum was like, oh, it must have just been like part of your dream or whatever. Obviously I was a kid, I was maybe like 8 or whatever, so she was just trying to calm me down. So at the time we had a massive corridor outside the flat, because it was like a block of flats, and
like
it was like, like
to
a
everyone's front door.
to everyone's front door. So I was like rollerblading on the hallway, and then my brother comes home. By
is
that
this
time,
the same day, or is this
the morning after? So I was already hanging out with my mate Tomasz, and he already knew the story because I told him, because my mum been having paranormal activity things happening, and she used to get Tomasz to stay over, because when he was there, for some reason it didn't happen. So she tried garlic, all sort of stuff, nothing with. But when Tomasz was there, or any other our mates, it's only our family that it happened when it was us. But anyway, so Tomasz already knows about this, and at the time we were a poor family as well. My dad was doing drugs and he was in jail at the time. It wasn't like a good life. So my brother comes home, and the first thing he says, I wasn't there, I was rollerblading, but the first thing he says, Mum, I had the weirdest dream. And my mum was like, oh, what happened? And he starts going on about like that he had a dream that he was at the house, that he was sleeping on the bottom, like at the flat, on the bottom bunk bed. Somebody knocks on the door. No, actually, he goes towards the kitchen and he sees a microwave, and there is a dead body, like half a body on the microwave. So she's thinking, whatever, like this doesn't, she's not even relating it to anything. And she's like, right, okay, so that sounds like a scary dream. And he was like, it was dead realistic. So then somebody knocks on the door. And I go and I open the door, and a guy walks in and he pushes past me, and I had a really bad feeling about him. And I was like, what the fuck, what you doing? Why are you coming in? And he goes and he slips under your bed. And she was like, and he was like, and it's really weird because we had, the bed had a fucking gap like that underneath. You guys can't see it, but it was probably like this thick. There was no way he could slip under this fucking, it's not a bed, it's a sofa bed, so it can like come out. But there was no way he could have gone under there. So he stopped talking then. It's like, why did you want to tell us that dream? So my mum's like, what did he look like? Straight up. And he describes the exact same man wearing the exact same thing as me. And my mum goes, Janka! My name is Jana, but in Slovakian they call me Janka. Anyway, so I'm like, what? So I come home and my mum goes, tell her what you just told us. So he's like, why? They're all like goosebumps all over her fucking body, all of them, and they're like, and he just starts telling me, and I'm like, no, I'm like fucking terrified, but also laughing because I feel like I've been a part of something because I'm young, but at the same time I'm terrified. And yeah, so my brother dreamt the same thing that happened to. I saw him on top of the bed, do you know what I mean? I didn't see him come in or whatever, but my brother, I don't know whether he astral projected or what, but he fucking saw it. He saw the bit before it. And the weirdest thing as well is that the phone, I just connected the dots, the phone was ringing in the kitchen, which I told you at the start, and he saw the half the dead body in the kitchen, which didn't really, obviously he was dreaming it, so he could have been a little mashed up, but something got his attention in the kitchen, and then he went to open the door. This guy fucking came in, and yeah, so it was really fucking scary. But I think it was a succubus, if any of you know what a succubus is.
Yeah.
Succubus.
Yeah. So this is really fucked up, but my dad, obviously he was really unwell, but in jail, he wasn't as unwell, but he still did naughty things like drugs and stuff.
Mm.
And he kept telling my mum that this succubus keeps taking her there in the middle of the night
Take
to
him
jail.
to the prison.
Yeah, as in her soul.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And raping her in front of him.
Fuck me.
Yeah, so he was like really fucked up about that. And he had fag ash, like fag burns on his hand. So my mum
What, the
was like,
succubus or
"No,
your
my
dad?
dad." So my mum, he never told her about this, that he was taking her to rape or whatever. Or maybe he did. I'm not sure. But my mum was a little bit like, "Yeah, whatever." Do you know what I mean? Because you're a bit young. But that was the time when she used to get strangled as well in her sleep. I asked him, why does he have fag burns on his hand? And he said, and this was the night, this was the day after this happened. He was like, they broke Yanka last night, and he was like, the only way I could stop him.
Wake yourself up.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
He wasn't asleep. He saw it in real life. And he burnt himself to make it stop, like enough,
like shock himself,
and
so you don't need to see that details, obviously, implies,
so I didn't feel like I was being taken anywhere or whatever, but God knows what was happening to my spirit, or beforehand, I don't know, but my mum started believing my dad because he told my mum, and things started clicking as well. My mum used to get strangled in the middle of the sleep, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's what's it called?
Paranormal.
No, the sleep paralysis.
It's sleep paralysis.
Yeah, so it's sleep paralysis. And you're doing it to yourself or whatever. But she was like, "But I'm awake and I can see my hand. They're not anywhere near my throat. I can't move." She couldn't move, so that's why she couldn't scream. That's why they were
saying. She had marks on her neck or something.
Yes,
as well?
yes. So basically, she had 5 finger bruises on her neck. So basically, my dad once said that they only took half her body there, and she remembers she got home once. She was drunk at the time. She used to drink. They don't drink anymore, but she was pretty pissed. Obviously, she had a hard life at the time. And she just passed out on the bed in her coat, in her black jacket, and she woke up and she couldn't just move the bottom half of her body. And then in the morning she woke up and it felt like she was after sex, but she was just putting it down to whatever, discharge or whatever. And then my dad said that they only took half her body the last time, and that she was wearing, like, because it was like a longer jacket, the black jacket, that she had that black jacket on. So like she started, when he said that about me, she started putting it all together and realizing, like, oh yeah, that night I did kind of what, and honestly it all started coming together.
I've never heard this before yet, I know.
Yeah.
I've heard this. It's interesting.
Yeah, and there was loads of crazy things that happened in that house. My brother once woke up in the flat is 1 room, a kitchen and a bathroom. That's where we lived for 11 years, because in Slovakia it's a little bit poor, and the poorer people don't really have, so 4 people in like 1 room, which is bigger, probably like twice the size of this, but that's it basically. So yeah, my brother woke up, went to the toilet, and then after he was like drinking his bottle of Coke, and he screams, like, we're asleep, and he screams like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, what, we're not doing anything. And he was like, because he was watching himself in the mirror whilst he was drinking, and a hand was coming to him, and he thought we were trying to freak him out. And so we put in the hand trying to strangle me or whatever, trying to freak me out. And we were like, "Peter, it wasn't us." He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You literally just woke us up. It wasn't us, and we're already now terrified because all these other things have been happening in the flat." So now we're like, and then the light feeds it as well. So like when you're in the dark, it's less, even though it's scarier, it's less strong.
Oh, because it's less visual, less senses, that sort of thing.
I don't really know why, but I think energy of the light. That's why light bulbs can pop and all sorts, because they have so much. I don't really know. I've not
Mm.
massively researched it because it scares me still.
Yes.
Well-
Did you find any mythical thing related to the description you
Not the exact description.
Red jacket, black
with
spots,
red spots.
and big smile.
No, sorry, black spots. But it was a
black
long
spots.
time ago, yeah.
Yeah, so red jacket, black spots, big smile, essentially.
I put about the eyes before.
But what about if they
That's
take
not
on
a thing.
the
it's a-
familiar look of someone, you know?
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep with
Yeah.
in the dark for years. I used to put my TV on radio channel, so it's dark screen.
Mm,
And I used to also put Big Brother on where they were all just sleeping and snoring,
mm.
just to have something. Then there was music. But now, since I've been with Patty, I can sleep in the dark
Yeah.
again.
You
But
can't
she
find
was
anything.
scared of the dark as well.
Also, there's stuff on incubuses and
Succubuses, yeah.
and different demons, but not nothing
unlock
with
it when you
with
try
that
Google?
description.
The good thing about the fact that we can't find anything is that I couldn't have just randomly made that up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't have read it and used it
It's
as
not
my
like
own
100
story.
people have said. the
Yes,
same
exactly. This is stuff that happened. I can assure you that 100% happened.
No,
Whatever was the reason, I don't know.
I think it'd be interesting if you end up going back to your flat one day and you still felt.
I keep going back there in my sleep
Do you?
all the time. I dream about it all the time, but it's not usually scary dreams. I'm just there
Mm.
for whatever reason. But I think that I grew up in that flat, lived there all my life till I was 11, so it could be that. But I wonder whether the people that live
That's what I was
there now
thinking,
have
if you were to
any
ask them.
weird.
If there's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Last time I went there to that flat, I didn't go inside, but I went and I stood outside and I looked. People with the same surname live there. Because you have
Your
a name
surname?
tag on the
That
door
is
so
so
that they
weird, isn't
for
it?
like post and stuff, so they can come knock on. Like if you have like, I don't really know why, but everybody had a tag, so you can find them because it was a massive.
Yeah.
thing.
I think that's the same everywhere. In
But
every
yeah,
country.
they were Horvats, although it is a pretty common name, like Smith. But that was the first time and the last time I saw my flat after we moved out, and they were the same name.
Yeah, funny, isn't it?
Mental. It's just, out of the millions of people that could have lived there, why another same surname? It just doesn't make any sense. It could have been a massive coincidence, but with the whole big weird thing with the flat, I don't know. It's just, I felt safer sleeping anywhere else, even places I didn't like to sleep,
Yeah.
just not home. because
Okay,
it
well,
was
here's
just scary.
here's the closest that I can find to that description.
Yeah.
So it says the lady in red or red lady is a type of female ghost similar to the white lady, but according to the legend, it's more specifically attributed to a jilted lover killed in a fit of passion or woman of vanity. But you said
It was
about,
a man in a
it's a
black
man.
jacket with red spots.
Yeah.
Other way, red jacket, black spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my mum's ex, he used to be able to see ghosts and things, and he told us that in my old house, he was like, there's a woman here called Pam, and sometimes she has a visitor, but she can't get past where, because we sort of, when we lived there was like a kitchen diner, and it was the whole width of the house at the back, towards the back of the property, whole width. So we had it as a kitchen diner, and
Oh god, that's terrifying.
yeah. So and Alan said that there's this lady and her name's Pam, and she can't sort of leave the dining room part. She can't come into the kitchen. She's sort of stuck there. But sometimes she had a visitor and they used to have conversations, but Alan couldn't understand what they were saying. It just sounded like
Yeah.
they
It's
didn't
horrible.
actually speak words you can understand. But they weren't ominous or anything. Like, they were totally friendly as far as he was aware.
Yeah.
Like, because he's seen loads of ghosts, and obviously some are really terrifying, and then the more ghosts I think you see, you work out which are good, which are bad.
Yeah.
It's like how you can judge people. You
Yeah.
can judge ghosts and the
Yeah.
temperament. Anyway,
I
we
think
got
I-
friendly
yeah.
with our neighbour, and he's dead now, bless him, but he was like fucking 80, 90-year-old man. And he said one day when we were speaking to him, oh yeah, there was an old lady called Pam who used to live in that house years and years ago, because obviously we bought it as an ex-council house, like a
Yeah.
woman with loads of kids. And he was like, and where you've made the dining room, there used to actually be a wall between the dining room and the kitchen, and that was her bedroom,
Yeah.
and she died in there.
Mm.
Oh God.
But she couldn't, but she wasn't, she was lovely
Yeah.
old lady.
Yeah.
And the only weird things that ever happened in that house is just random pranks on my brother. Like, he came home from school one day and all the hangers had been chucked on his bed out of his wardrobe. And
Yeah.
my mum's not going to do that. I've been at school all day as well. But he was a little shit, so she was probably just like, I wouldn't line him up, but his room was above the dining room, so whether she couldn't come out of the room, she could travel up into his bedroom.
Mm.
Maybe.
Bless her for being stuck there, though. Like, she didn't obviously get to peacefully pass. There was someone's finished business, that's why she'd have to stay there. It's so weird, I don't really understand it all, but obviously you're meant to pass on. You're not meant to stay.
Mm.
There's reasons why.
I've got a theory of what ghosts are, if they ever existed. It's a memory that's trapped that you can
I thought
slightly
you might
interact
say
with.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like
a different
echo.
dimension
It's like
in
an
the
echo,
past. Yeah.
but it's sort of an interactive echo in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there is also demons and all sorts of different things, which are, I don't know what they are.
Yeah, so there's a Barclays in Castle, right?
Yeah.
And Alan had to leave once when my sister was literally still in a pushchair, because he was sat with my mum in the bank, back in Barclays Bank, and he was like, "Can you smell that?" My mum was like,
Sulfur.
"No." He couldn't describe it, but it was a bad smell.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Something smells really, really bad. How can you not smell it?" And she was like, "I can't smell anything."
Yeah.
And then you just start getting,
No. So he's like completely bewildered that my mum can't smell this horrific smell. So he's looking around the room and notices right behind him there's an old couple, and right behind the old lady's shoulder is this tall figure that was like looking down at her, but he couldn't see its face. And then at one point, although he couldn't see its face, couldn't see eyes or anything, it clocked Alan, and he knew it clocked him that he could see it.
Yeah.
And it looked angry, even though it had no face or anything that
gosh, this is freaking me
could
out.
tell him. He had to leave
I don't know if I'll be able
the
to sleep
bank
tonight.
because he was that frightened. He'd never seen anything like it. And then when he came back, he said to my mum, because she was like, "Going on, what doesn't, I can't smell anything," and he's completely freaked out and that he's had to leave. Like, that's not normal. And he said, like, wherever that old lady's going is not a good place. Like, that demon thing following her is the scariest thing he ever encountered in a Barclays Bank in a busy town centre in the middle of the day.
Person.
Well, they weren't doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything. There was nothing about her that stuck out to make her a bad person.
But that's freaking me out, guys. That is proper freaking me out.
I don't know what to do about it.
It's
Let him
try
out.
and clean it.
I've let him out.
What would you do if it just disappeared?
That freaked
What
out.
does it look like on the other side, Kieran?
Nothing.
You can't see it
Just-
on the other side.
Just like,
Yeah.
bitty.
Try cleaning it, maybe it'll go away.
No, it's fine. It's a part of the podcast now, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
like, I don't
Yeah.
like it, and I think there's ghosts here now because I don't know whether it's just me being paranoid because we've spoken about it. But the more you speak about stuff like that, the more likely they'll be like, "What are you talking about?"
Come out. Don't come out.
Please don't.
Stay there.
Do either of you feel a bit uneasy, or is it just me?
I always feel uneasy talking about ghosts because I believe in them, and
What about you? Would you not believe in Truly, do you not feel any kind of uneasiness?
The more I think about whatever, the more it exists. It's like
Yeah.
it's whatever, isn't it? The more you think about faith, the more you think God. The more God shows Himself. The more that you think about ghosts, the more ghosts come out. It's whatever.
So we can manifest it.
You can
manifest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess that's a true manifestation, isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's funny that people have experiences with like the smell, like Alan, and sound, because like my little sister says she's heard like knocking on a bedroom window. Now you see my mum's house. How the fuck are you getting to my sister's bedroom window on the outside?
Your
and,
house
like,
was
up and down.
Haunted
My
by
mum's.
the toilet. Summer.
Which upstairs?
I don't know what, but something.
Like the landing in between the bathroom and the toilet.
Where the stairs are, here is the thing, and there is the toilet. I just felt so scared and uneasy there when I was like, no, I don't like.
Well, Lily says she's heard like running around there as well. She says like along the upstairs landing.
Yeah. The smells also, anybody can smell that. If you can smell sulphur and there is nothing, like sulphur as in like poo or disgusting smells like rotting.
Smelled it in Wix's yesterday and
where?
me and Benito making small talk in Wix's, the DIY place.
Yeah.
We were like, stinks out there when you first come in them doors, doesn't it? And she was like, does it? We were like, yeah, it absolutely reeks of sulphur. And she was like, I don't know. But we smelled it.
If, for
another way
example,
out.
we were here and all of a sudden started smelling sulphur, that is a fucking red alarm. Like,
You think the dog's farting, but really it's just
okay, it doesn't smell like that. That was definitely Trump. kind of. I see where you're going. It's like disgusting, like unbearable, like
rotten egg.
really bad and shit and everything else. Like puke.
Have you smelt it before then, but just not?
I don't know. I'm not sure because I remember talking about the fact that there's smell of sulphur, but whatever it was, me and Ree had weird experiences as well. Whether it was Ree that smelt it or somebody around me, I'm not sure. I don't really dabble in it now as much. I am a little bit less scared because I have become more spiritual and connected.
The reason I don't try to believe in anything with it is because you're never really 100% sure on anything you're thinking. You just don't know. It's because once you find out one thing, it just leaves you a question for other, and then all of it's like, well,
everything's possible.
Everything's possible, and it's like, what's the point of believing one thing over another? It's like it's too much.
That's why I don't believe one thing over another.
But it's difficult. That's why I just stay agnostic or just not even acknowledge it.
It's nice to have faith though, because then you've got something to lean back on when you've got nothing else.
Yeah.
So talking about faith, what do you think about like reincarnation and stuff? Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah. I do, but I don't know whether it's real.
Okay.
Again.
Answer me the question: how many souls are there?
Billions?
That leads me on to the
Trillions?
egg theory.
Okay, is there a certain amount of souls, or is there a bank of souls
Wow.
that get to live?
Do you want to? So you've heard of? Have any of you heard of Mr. Ballin, the YouTuber? And he does podcasts too, and he tells like different stories, not necessarily like scary or paranormal, but anyway. Okay, so me and Benito were watching one the other night. Because I just put mum to go bed and stuff. And
what scary stories?
Not necessarily always scary, but yeah.
Creepypasta.
Yeah, like murders. Whatever.
The black-eyed kids.
I've got a few different ones from Mr. Ballin.
I prefer them for definite.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's this little boy, born in India.
Is this related with the reincarnate? Okay.
Born in India, and sorry, I've got a dead leg, so I'm trying to adjust. And like he had loads of older siblings, and they were all normal, whatever normal is.
Yeah.
And mum and dad are too. And the kid barely spoke when he was little, and he used to be dead sulky, and he'd say weird things like, why are we on the bus? Why haven't we got a car? What, we're poor, like, why are we wearing these old rags and proper like snotty and snobby, and this family were like, why is he like this? Like he doesn't know anything other. Like he's 3 years old, and he used to shout this thing. He like Sammy Video or something like that. He used to just shout it and go hysterical. And then one day his dad must have been like doing some sort, like, I don't know if he was a buyer and seller or something. But his dad was in this neighbouring town that was like half an hour away or something, and it was like the most built up area that was close to the village they lived in. And then this his elder brother and his mum were in the kitchen. He was just doing his own thing in the kitchen, not part of the conversation, and he mentioned that the dad was in this specific town, and this kid picked up and was like, why wasn't I allowed to go? What, like, this is, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, I just wanted to go to the radio shop there. That's mine, like, weird stuff. And this is like a 2 or 3 year old, bearing in mind. He's never been outside the village. So they were like, and he was like, he had to be restrained. He was kicking off about it that much. He was so furious. So his mum discreetly said to like the eldest brother, oh, can you go there and go and see what's in this radio shop, see if it exists? And so he did, and there was this woman working in there, and he, you know, asked her questions and stuff, and said, can you come and visit the house? So they came over, and the mum had said, on the day they come over, let the kid open the door to him.
Yeah.
Don't introduce him, don't say anything, don't even like tell him the names, let's just see what happens. And the kid's face was like smiling, they'd never seen him so happy. He ran in and was like, this is my family, come and meet my other family. To these strangers, saying like, you're my family, come meet these others. And there was the woman who was the one who the brother had spoken to in the radio shop. The kid was just like in awe of him, and they were all sat around this table. And he was the one breaking the tension, this 2 or 3 year old.
Yeah.
And it turns out this word he'd been shouting was his name, possibly in another life. This woman was his wife, and they said what happened, and they were like, there was a robbery at the radio store, whatever it was, and he got shot in the back of his, like here, and the bullet came out here. This kid had, the mum just went inside, got some scissors, started cutting the kid's hair, and he was like, dead happy, like, they'd never seen him like this. He had the same scars that matched the bullet going in and out of the man who died, and obviously this kid had been screaming this bloke's name, never met him, and the woman didn't even know it was a name, just thought he was shouting some weird words. And yeah, and his whole life they ended up staying in touch. I think he's like our age now.
That's crazy. I have heard similar things to that, but not creepy. This was creepy. I didn't like this.
And he died literally like a couple, I think it was like 3 months before the kid was born. So they thought that somehow his spirit had come out the body and somehow gone into her unborn babies. So the spirit entered into an unborn baby, and that's how it was reincarnated, because she was already pregnant when this guy died. I think there was like a 3 month difference between him dying and the kid
I think
being
there is a
born.
little bit of time where the spirit goes back wherever and decides to come back down or whatever. But obviously that's just my idea, really. I don't know what happens. But I think I saw a documentary or read or something. I think I saw a documentary about a kid that knew everything about the Titanic. Have you heard about this?
Something similar. Benito showed me a documentary of this woman who was like, knew where everything was in the pyramids and like helped archaeologists dig up the place and
this exact
tunnels.
thing with the Titanic. This kid was really young and was obsessed, but they didn't even know about it. Like, I don't think he even knew about what the Titanic was, and then he just started talking about it. They showed him the film, and he was like saying what's wrong with the film and like what didn't happen and stuff like that. So then they took him to a museum and he was like, that's wrong, this model's wrong, because they did have another, whatever, it was like weird poles on top of the boat, like not poles, but like thicker
like
things.
chimneys.
Yeah, whatever, like. And he was like, there was a third one, there wasn't just two, because the model only had two. And he was like, and down here is where they did all the work. And he was just saying so many things that just didn't. So they started researching into this, and turns out there was this person that worked there and died and whatever. I don't remember. It was ages ago. We probably should find it and maybe link it or whatever. But yeah, as soon as it came out that he was right and that he was probably the person that, like in his past, like the person that they found out about, he then started forgetting about it and he doesn't remember it at all now. And he was like 17, wherever that was. They didn't even remember, like, recall whatever was happening at the time.
Is that because his new memories and his new body?
Yeah, it's like whatever was happening at the time he just needed to clear his truth and then move on to his next life or whatever.
So it's like the spirit might have left him once it got his truth out.
Whether it's like left or whether it just decided that it wants to now continue with its new life and have new experiences and not live in the past. I don't know.
It's a memory thing.
Yeah, could be.
I know 2 weird facts about the Titanic. Number 1, Captain was from Stokely. Number 2, there was a guy who was supposed to work on the Titanic and he was dead excited and he was on the boat getting ready, and then like half an hour before it departed, whatever, they said, oh sorry, we don't actually need you now, so you gotta get off the boat. Anyway, so he was gutted and went home, took his bags, went home, and then when he got home, he realised that he had a set of keys, but these keys were just to a cabinet that had the spectacle magnifying things, what's it called? Binoculars. Yeah.
We all just went.
And then, meanwhile, on the boat, they had also realised that they were missing these keys, but they're like, oh, fuck, it's only some binoculars. Well, maybe if so they never had the binoculars,
they had
but they hit an iceberg. So if they'd have had them binoculars, they might never have hit the iceberg.
So this guy's fault that this happened.
Yeah, kind of. Because he had the keys
not his
to
fault,
not his fault, but yeah, he accidentally took the keys to the cabinet which had all the binoculars in. And when they realised on there, they were like, yeah, fuck it, it's only some binoculars. It's not imperative, don't mind.
Really? I didn't know that was a thing. That's so, oh my gosh, that's such a tiny detail which would have made a massive difference.
Butterfly effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But not many people know that about the binoculars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Probably just saying they're bloody Stokies driving the boats. Why did they let them?
They probably don't even know that the Stokies did it.
Yeah, they probably don't. That's just it.
They just know about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, and it's funny, we've got Titanic Brewery, but it was like one of the biggest accidents. Like, yeah, let's name a beer after it.
Maybe if you do deeper digging it, there'll be some family relation, and that's why it was named it. Maybe.
Let me see if I can find this kid that was reincarnated.
Yeah, you find the kid. So is your family all like never had any sort of paranormal?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me this, but yeah, I've got one, yeah.
Yay! Why were you hoping they wouldn't ask you?
So I'm probably going to butcher the story, but...
Okay, well it's
you can say that you don't know the details perfectly.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's fine.
it was actually a really bad accident, and what happened was my dad and my uncle Ronnie, I think it was, they were in a caravan, and it was in this, it was like on a farm, it was on like a farm sort of thing, and the caravan caught on fire, and my uncle Ronnie and my dad was stuck on it.
What, in the caravan when it was on fire?
On fire, I think. And my uncle Ronnie picked up me dad and pushed him through the window so he could go get help. And he tried running to this door, but it was all full of mist and he couldn't get through it. So then he was like, what do I do? And he was like, he didn't know what to do. So he couldn't get through for some reason. And it was just like, it was just stopping him. And he didn't know what was going on. And in the background, the whole caravan's being lit on fire. And he goes out and he can't get through it. So what he has to do is, there's this big wall and he jumps over the wall, climbs over the wall, and there's loads of dogs. And he's running past all these dogs, and he couldn't get past the dog. And then he's trying to dodge the dogs, gets to the back door, and then gets the guy, and then he comes out and then stops the fire. But then as soon as they come out, the mist's gone, and then that's it. But they don't know how the fire happened. They don't know what the mist was. And
Like
yeah, and then
in your room?
and then he rescued me Uncle Ronnie, and then that was it. But yeah, that was me. That was my dad's story about a ghost. Oh, and then I've got another one, but I don't know if I can say it. I don't know.
You can't.
You
Just
don't
don't
say
use any
names,
names
yeah.
or who it was, like, oh, my sister or whatever. Just.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll say this one. I'll say this one without a name. So
This
person, they died. The dad had died, and they were messing him, and they didn't get to talk to him properly before he died, and one of the relatives said all he wanted to do was talk to you, and then I think it was like a week later, he got a phone call and he picked it up, and it sounded like the relative who had passed away. He answered the phone and he was just taken back, and he was just like, well, what's, like, he didn't know what to say, but it sounded like the person had passed away, and he was just taken for words, and then he just hung up, and then that was it. But
Well, what was the dad saying?
just saying hello, and it sounded exactly like the person that passed away, and they didn't know what to say.
Did he try
What
and read
number
out?
was
That's what I was
it?
going to say. Try and look up the number, or was it like put in caller ID and some freaky?
Don't know. It was just on a house line and stuff. We didn't do the callback thing on it. You know, you meant press 141. We didn't do that. It was just
141 is to make it unknown.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever
you mean
it is.
to
read.
call back.
I know,
But yeah,
yeah.
and then he told me about it, and then they were like, it was dead weird, and he said he didn't know what to say, and then that's it. Hung up. Yeah, that's weird that you could have had that one chance talking to him, and then it's just gone, which is weird. But yeah, that was that story. But those two stories anyway, which I think is really weird.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, do you believe?
It's easier to not acknowledge it because it just opens up a can of worms.
Ignorance is bliss type
Ignorance
thing.
is bliss, yeah.
I think that's what I'm like. I do fully believe, but I try not to think about it because you and Rhea as well said to me, the more you talk about it, the more likely they are to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more you try to connect and everything else, because you're opening your mind to it, you're letting it in. So
Yeah.
you can imagine, if ever you're scared, imagine a bubble, like a white bubble around you, or like white light. It's really difficult to kind of imagine that.
Yeah, but think of it like this: put yourself in the most haunted position ever, in the most haunted place ever, and just sit there. And what's the worst thing that's gonna happen to you?
You never know.
No, but what's the worst thing that's gonna happen to you?
I don't know, because I don't know if they can touch you.
Yeah.
Like what's like? Are you gonna die?
You could die.
Of what though?
You could die of heart attack, but it wouldn't necessarily be a heart attack. You could have scratches and bruises and God knows what. I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but I wouldn't want to be. Scary stuff. You don't want to mess with shit like that. Spirits can attach themselves to you as well and stuff.
Oh my god, that's something else I watched once as well. So this trades guy, he was called to this property to do his trade, whether it was plumbing or electrician or whatever, I can't remember, but obviously he'd been called to this property to fix something. And he went in and there were like two blokes like on the ground and this woman doing all weird shit, like screaming and making weird noises, and then she just went like that, I went, ah! And like pointed straight at the guy, and the guy was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. Went back home, kept seeing things, this thing run across the floor, like to a certain point, and that went on for years, and he never sold a house, similar to the Hill House thing.
Yeah.
And he even got people stopping over his house to prove he wasn't mad, like, watch, it'll run across the floor in a minute, and they'd see it. And he never sold his flat because he believed whatever this woman did, she got him there to pretend something was broken because she was doing this exorcism and she needed another host. So that's why as soon as he arrived, she went, ah, and pointed at him.
To try and transfer
and sent,
it.
Yeah. And then, like, I don't know if he's still alive or not, but when I watched the podcast, he was still alive, and for the rest of his days from that moment ongoing, this thing was still in his house, freaking him the fuck out, and he wouldn't sell the flat because he didn't want anybody else to have to deal with it. So he just got acclimatized to it.
Anybody to try and cleanse it out of there, like.
I think he thought that it couldn't be, and it had to go on someone else, but it was that disturbing and distressing. He didn't want to do that to someone else.
Like how I'm trying to think of the right word. How like certain like Catholicism and Christianity is on the religion, yet they're the ones who come out for exorcisms. Don't you think that's unusual?
It's because in Christianity there is heaven and hell, there is good and bad. So basically Christians believe, I was going to say think, but it's not really fair for me to say, because who am I to say that they're not right, but believe that they can fight the evil with the power of God.
Yeah.
So that's why, and to be honest, most real exorcisms that have happened, I think it's the belief, I think it's the will to try and get rid. Because their faith is
stronger.
Yeah.
Oh, so back to the thing I was saying about it's whatever you believe in it. If your belief in God is stronger than the belief in the whatever you're experiencing, it'll outweigh. Compel it.
Christianity is really strong because there are so many people that believe in it.
Yeah.
So
well, if you think about it, what religion won in the whole world? What do you think? What religion won?
I'm going to say Christianity.
Okay, yeah, John. Why? What year is it? 2024 AD, after death of Christ.
Oh yeah.
And everyone, you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to China, you can go to Poland, you can go anywhere all over the world, and it's still the same fucking year. 2024 AD Gregorian calendar.
Okay, Gregorian.
But the Gregorian is based off the Christian calendar, and everyone follows it.
Not everyone though. There is Persian calendar
and how good are they doing in business at the moment?
No,
are they even still a country?
Even what I'm saying, but I'm saying
they're not even still a country.
Yeah, they are.
It's
Iran.
not. Yeah, exactly, Iran.
They're just, but that Iranian calendar, it don't matter, it's the same. But basically what I'm trying to say is not everybody, I mean it's the strongest calendar, Gregorian calendar, but not everybody follows it. So I don't know what year it is in the Persian calendar, but it's like
wrong
1034 or something.
Wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, Christianity is the strongest. I think then Islam is the second strongest probably. But they do kind of
well, it doesn't.
Connect in a way.
It doesn't. The Muslim religion believe that Jesus did exist, but he was one of the prophets. He wasn't the son of God. Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. If there are any paranormal activity happenings or conspiracy theories or conspiracy theories that have happened to you, or you want to hear us talk about it, then just drop it in the comments and we will, because we chat about anything.
I don't even know we're even going to be talking about this.
If any of you related to anything what we said, if you've had an experience like it or anything like that, please drop it in the comments, because I'd love to know if anybody else
the red jacket woman with black spots and big smile and hair like a dad's.
And just to clarify, it wasn't like dot spots, it was kind of like a checkered jacket, just like smudges of black. It was a red jacket with I don't know, I can't describe it. It was dark, but anything like that with a black fringe to the side, maybe black hair, shortish, maybe hair, but like not shaved. But yeah, Yeah, so let us know.
And don't forget to like,
and
comment, and
subscribe.
subscribe.
Do it now.
Okay.
Do it now.
Now!